want Jesus. And that's why
Amen.
we're here, are we not?
Hey, we are here for Jesus, and I want to talk about my major. My major is maps.
Who are you, first of all?
My name is Dr. Jim Marshall. I'm from the
you're a
United States.
doctor.
And I also specialize
I'm
in
Dr.
a map
J.
company.
Smith.
Thank you,
We're a
Dr.
paradox.
J.
Did you get that? We're a pair of ducks. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
And I
so
want
you're
to
from
talk-
America.
I'm from
Is this
America.
your first time here?
No.
Have you
my
been
first
on the
time
ladder?
speaking. No. But yes, my first time. No. So this
Listen
is
to what
my
I'm
first time.
asking. Is this
Yeah.
your first time on the ladder?
Yes.
Have you ever done this before?
No.
Are you nervous?
No.
You better be.
I'm sure.
You better be honest with me. You are nervous. You
I'm
have been
not-
nervous all day. You have been texting me after texting me. You are nervous.
All right, if you want to call it
But that's what
anxiety.
you need to be, don't you?
Oh, I have the.
Because
fear
you've
of the
got
Lord.
so much excitement inside you.
Oh, it's bottled up.
You want to talk about Jesus, don't you?
I want to talk about Jesus, and I want to talk about something that will correct the record of maps that lead to Jesus
Oh, you want to
Christ.
talk about maps. Okay, hold on a minute. So you're a mapologist.
I'm a mapaholic. I'm a map junkie from the cartographic industry that's left over from mostly
So you're
dead.
a cartographer.
Yeah, there's others that are better cartographers than me, but I specialize in spotting errors on maps. And-
So now we've gone from science to cartography.
But cartography, geography is science.
But you got it all over your
It is.
jacket.
Geography is a leftover science that's been ignored for decades.
Is that why
It's
you're
been
wearing
ignored.
this jacket right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what is it you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about asking a question. Where is Mecca?
Whoa, wait a minute. You all know where Mecca is? You all know where Mecca is? It's right there in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula.
It is. But if one goes to the Library of Congress or the British Library, or if one studies maps like I do, you'll find out in ancient maps it was not
Where's
there.
Mecca? I can't find Mecca. I'm looking for Mecca. Here's Mecca right there on your back.
Oh, it's
I
on all
just
the-
found Mecca.
It's all on the new maps, but it wasn't there on the Ptolemy
Well,
map.
you asked where is
For the
Mecca? I just found it. It's on your back.
Yes, sure, a 1980s jacket. Sure, Mecca's there. And it's been there for centuries.
Okay.
It's been there
So
for a long
today
time.
we know where Mecca is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But you don't think that the other people knew it beforehand.
Well, I've got incontrovertible evidence.
So
I'm
when
learned to produce the science of geography.
When are you talking about?
Ptolemy. This is from the Library of Congress in Large. There are 7 maps in the Ptolemy series. This one is particularly clear. Ptolemy is a 2nd century Greek mathematician and geographer. He did his maps, and these were 7 at the Library of Congress. I've picked 2 of them today.
Okay.
And how could Abraham have built Mecca if it's not there in the 2nd century?
Stop before. You're saying Ptolemy is from the 2nd century?
Yeah, Ptolemy.
80.
The P is silent. But yes.
80.
Yes.
Okay, so he's quite recent.
He's 2,200 years after Abraham.
Okay, but basically 1,800 years before now.
Yes.
So he's before Islam.
Way before. Yes.
So this is a good 500 years before Islam.
Yes.
Okay.
Second
So what
century.
you're saying is, at the time that he did his, that's not his map. He
That
didn't
was
make
a
any
rendition.
maps.
He didn't make the maps, but they were done later.
He wrote
Yes,
about
but
the
this is how
geography
this is how
of
it's-
Arabia.
Right. This is how it's presented in the Library of Congress. Or
You're not answering my question.
Okay.
You're running ahead.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
He did not make any maps.
that is correct.
So this is not his map.
No.
Okay, you're going to confuse these people.
Oh, I'm not trying to confuse
Yes, you are, because you're jumping all over the place.
Okay.
Sit still. Let's go slowly on this.
Sure.
So he did not make any maps.
No.
He wrote a book on the geography of Arabia.
Yes.
And in that geography, he placed different places.
Yes.
He named different places.
He was very descriptive.
And the places were what? Cities, towns, rivers,
Regions.
mountains.
Mountains.
Okay. And when he put that on the book, Europeans came and then made these maps.
Yes, that is correct.
Then
That
tell
is
them
totally-
that. That's what you need to tell them.
Okay, the Europeans took his book and they took these and they put them on. And there's 7 Ptolemy maps in the Library of Congress. And you can go through it. And I grew up with the Library of Congress because my dad ran a map company 36 years.
Okay. So these are not his maps. These are much later Europeans.
Yes,
who
that's
took
correct.
what he wrote and they put it on a map.
Correct.
Okay, are you all following so far?
He's excellent.
Okay, so these are much later maps.
They are correct, but they're showing what he wrote in the 2nd century and presenting them accurately.
And so what is your problem with this map then?
Because Mecca's not there. And if Abraham built Mecca, how could it be gone? If Abraham built Mecca, if Abraham built the Mecca 2,200 years before this, how could it not be there?
So it's not on this map.
No.
It must be on another map then.
No, can you turn
This
that
is a
map around,
misprint.
please? Can you turn that map around? Here's another. There's 7 Ptolemy maps. 7 Ptolemy maps in the Library of Congress. 7 of them. This is the second one. It's a little bit harder to read, but Mecca's not there. Why is Mecca not there in the 2nd century AD, 2,200 years after Abraham?
Okay, but Makaraba is there.
Oh, they have other things. They have a trade route.
Makaraba is Mecca.
Oh, you can say Makaraba.
Makaraba is right there. Makaraba.
Okay.
Could that not be Mecca?
There's always possibilities, but I got incontrovertible science today, so I'll give you that. I'll
right.
give you that if you want that.
What are you
Sure.
going to do with Makaraba?
I have no problem with it being on one of these. I have sensed and I found out that Qatar has got the rights to these things, and I'm sensing something might be going on, but that may be a
So
tangent.
what does Qatar say about Makaraba?
I'm sure they want it on there as much as possible because I've got a bunch of other maps here, not just these Ptolemy, and you can argue that.
The Muslims will throw you on that if you said that in public, like you've just done right now.
That's fine.
Unfortunately, there are no Muslims to hammer him.
Okay.
Come on, Muslims, where are you?
You can say whatever.
Where are the Muslims?
You can have whatever.
Come here. Come forward. I want you to, for now, help this man find Mecca. Come here. Come here. Help this man find Mecca. Why is it that Muslims are so afraid? Jim, notice, he's yelling and yelling, but he doesn't want to come and conquer us.
And I give you this, scientifically, logically, geographically, I could be mistaken on that. I'll give you that. Absolutely, I'll give him that.
You aren't mistaken. But the Muslim doesn't want to talk to you about it.
Of course.
And why does the Muslim not want to talk about this?
I kill anybody on the subject of geography.
What is it that the Muslims claim about Mecca?
That Abraham built Mecca.
No, much even more than that. What else do they claim?
You can tell me better than
Adam and Eve were in Mecca.
Okay.
So therefore, there's no one earlier than Adam and Eve, right?
No.
They are the first humans on earth.
Yes, sir.
So Mecca would be the first inhabitant of mankind, right?
It should be the world's best known. I have incontrovertible.
Well, it may not be
evidence
the
here.
world's best known. Don't jump to
But
that.
Adam and Eve.
But certainly it's the oldest.
Yes.
And does it not say, you said that Abraham was there in chapter 21?
You know better than myself on these
Just
things.
take
I
it from
wanna
me.
stay on my
In chapter
geographic
21,
lane.
in chapter 21 of the Quran, Abraham is in Mecca.
Okay.
And he's rebuilding the Masjid al Haram.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's 1900 BC.
Absolutely.
So already 1900 BC, we're talking about pretty early, right?
Look at these centuries. That's about 2,000 years later.
I'm not talking about this yet.
Okay.
I'm just saying what the problem, why this Muslim is running away. If Mecca is there at Adam and Eve, if Mecca is there in 1900 BC, is also Mecca not the center of trade, north, south, east, and west?
And I got maps like that, but you're getting ahead of us. But yes,
Or are you going to go in the trade route?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna
Oh,
annihilate the
I like
trade
this
route.
guy.
I'm going to annihilate the trade
Okay,
route.
please, Muslims,
We're
come
down-
forward.
it's
I want you
going
to take them on.
The trade route. The
I
trade
want you to
route
take them on.
The trade route map. The trade route
No,
map.
we'll get to that. Let's get that. So already know.
Other one first. That's right.
So Jim, already we know that Mecca is the oldest city in history.
Yes, sir.
It's also where Abraham lived, right?
Yes, sir.
How many people believe Abraham lived in Mecca? Put your hands up.
Hey, we're looking for believers. We're looking for this.
Come on, Muslims.
Come
Are you
on.
Muslim?
Who wants to take
Are you
on a
Muslims?
geographic fanatic? Who wants to take on a map of hawk? Who wants to take
You
on
notice
a
the
map
Muslims
freak?
are running away.
Who wants to deal on a map freak?
The Muslims love to yell at us about the Trinity and the divinity, but they don't want to talk about their city called Mecca, the oldest city in the history of mankind, where Abraham lived.
And it's the science of geography that's been de-emphasized my whole life. I happen to be a freak. I major in that. There's many things I don't know, but...
Like you didn't know about Makoraba.
Of course.
Okay, so we do know that someone somewhere should have heard about this city.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just say, hypothetically, that maybe it was so insignificant that no one bothered to mention it. Like Ptolemy forgot to mention it.
Yes. But if you say Ptolemy forgot to mention it, this is the trade routes of the empires of the first century. You can see the Silk Road going to China. You can see the Roman Empire. You can see the Parthian Empire that predates the Persian and the modern-day Iran. You can see trade routes going by water around the Red Sea. It's so beautiful going all the way.
So they're coming from China, they're coming to the Mediterranean.
Right.
They can either go the northern route or the southern route.
Through the water.
They have to come through here. They have to come up the Red Sea.
Right. And what you see on this trade route map of the great empires, and look at this, is the first century, 2,100 years after Abraham supposedly built Mecca. You see it going from Petra to Mur, and it's going Mur in the modern-day Yemen. And it's a very clear map.
That would be Aden then. Aden is the city.
Again, there's areas I don't know.
Aden is the city here. And you notice that you have it going along the Red Sea. What is that purple line right there?
That is the trade route map. And on the next one's great. On this trade route map, it shows very clearly the route going from Petra along the watering
Let's
holes.
look at that, because that looks like it's going through Mecca.
It certainly could. The next one is very clear.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Shall we go to it?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. This is the Nabatean trade route map, the first century BC, 1900 years after Abraham.
Okay, here's the Hadramat. That is Yemen and Oman today.
Yes, sir.
And that's where all the water is.
Yes, sir.
Aden's right here.
Yes, sir.
And here is Sana'a. There's Najran. There's Najran, I'm sorry. Where you don't have Taif here. Taif should be right about there.
Well, this is at the library. I'm not trying to say Taif.
And then that is Yathrib.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, hold on a minute. It goes from Najran straight to Yathrib. Mecca is down here.
It's nowhere near the map.
Why is the trade route not come down to Mecca?
Because it's at a different elevation. It did not have water for the camels.
Hold on, how much elevation from Taif down to Mecca is how many feet?
About 3,000 feet. Is bigger than any mountain in Pennsylvania where I'm from. It's about the elevation of the very tallest mountain in Pennsylvania.
Here we go. On that, you ready? So
yes,
Mecca is right here. It's down off the trade route is what you're saying.
It's way off.
Way off the trade route. And why do they not go down to Mecca and then back up to Yathrib?
There's no water there. If you look at the hydrological
did you
map.
hear that? It's a desert!
It's a desert.
No water, no food, no people, no town, no city, no history, no civilization.
No water for the camels. No water for the camels. No water for the people. No water for any of this thing. You're gonna
no
learn.
No water, no food, no people, no town, no city, no history, no civilization. How long does it take me to say that? 5 seconds.
Oh, you're great. You're expert.
All right, so you can see. Just shut that argument down. In order to have a place for people to go, for camels to be fed, you need water.
Right.
Now, there is no water down here.
There is no water. It's not on the trade routes. Elevation is as tall as Allegheny Mountain, the tallest in Pennsylvania. They don't have taller.
They don't know
difference.
Pennsylvania. Nonetheless, what are these places then?
These are places where they have oasis and water.
These are oases.
Yeah,
that means there's an aquifer there.
That means the camels can drink. The people can drink. It means there can be green vegetation there.
Aha. Now, what do the historians, including Ptolemy, say about Sana'a and about Najran and about Taif and about Medina, Yathrib, and about Tabuk and about Khaybar? All these little oases. Does Ptolemy refer to them?
I believe so, but you
just say yes.
Yes.
Say yes emphatically.
Okay. Yes.
So it's interesting that in the 2nd century, all of these lesser and much less important oases are in Ptolemy's map, but not Mecca.
That is correct.
So what does that tell you?
There's no Mecca there. Long after Abraham, 1,900 years after Abraham, how could he have built Mecca? And some might ask, let me say something. I'm going to go on a tangent. Why could he take on this map freak? Why could he talk about maps? And I give Jesus all the glory. I'm
Amen.
a nobody.
Amen.
But this is my major. This is my major.
So
Yes, sir.
what you're saying is if there is no Mecca there, then what are you going to do with Surah 6, which talks about Eve going down and Adam being thrown down? Now, it doesn't say Mecca. It says they're thrown down to earth. You
Yes,
need
sir.
to go to the traditions to find that it's Mecca. Hold on a minute. Eve was thrown down to Mecca.
Yes, sir.
Adam was thrown down to Sri Lanka. Whoever threw them down was a pretty lousy shot, wasn't they? Because Adam, don't worry, he was 90 feet tall, and he went boom, 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 and he joined Eve up in Mecca. But nonetheless, that shows it's the earliest city in history.
Right.
So as far as Abraham, that shows in 1900 BC he should be there.
And do you want to change to the next map, or do you want to go a little bit more
I
on the
want you to
trade route?
review what you've just said.
I've just said there's no way Abraham could have built Mecca. There's none. There's no chance out of a Google. If all the zeros in a Google, there is not a rat chance. You couldn't pay me all the gold in Dubai as a map expert to believe that. No way.
Okay. What's your next point now?
My next point is about what I got 4 other maps to show.
Okay, go ahead. Now, what's this next one?
Okay, here's an earliest map, and as best I can tell, this looks like about the 5th to 9th century, somewhere in there. Middle East map, AD. There's an early Middle East map. And when map makers make maps, map makers always include the most important countries, the most important cities, the most important regions, the most important states. One thing map makers never do is they omit something important. And if you look here, how come the map maker shows Southern Arabia as empty? How come it's
Well,
so-
they just cut it off because they ran out of space.
Yeah, but map makers never cut it off. 36 years in the map industry, they do not cut it off, ever. They don't, throughout history, they don't do that if there's something important there.
They only want to show Arabia, and they're only showing Arabia portrayal. That's why.
Right.
Okay, Jim, let me just say this. They're not showing Arabia Deserta right there.
Right.
What does those mean? Arabia portrayal means Petra.
Petra.
Arabia Felix means happy Arabia.
Yes, sir.
Arabia Deserta means what? Arabia Deserta means desert.
Yes, sir.
What does that say to you if it's a desert?
It's a desert. There's no water.
Exactly.
There's no
And
life.
where is Mecca placed?
It's in the desert, 3,000 feet
Arabia
down.
Deserta.
Arabia Deserta. That's why they cut off the maps. I'd like to talk about this map from 301 BC, 17 centuries after Abraham. It's so clear. This map provides real insight, like eye-opening insight, because as they show the kingdoms of Alexander's successor, 1,700 years after Abraham, 1,700 years after Abraham, Ishmael. You can see on this map, this Alexander's map, 17 centuries after Abraham, it's total desolate, cut off at the south. Maps never do that. They don't do it through any point without history, and they don't do it at any point now. That's
Okay.
the only way I get my map expertise.
All right. So what's your point? The fact is they've cut off the most important thing.
Right.
They've cut off the most important place.
Yes.
The center of history. The oldest city in history.
Supposed to be built by Abraham.
And it's where Muhammad was going to be sent. Or, well, actually where he was going to be born.
And it's a total, absolute, in 3rd century BC. This is
So
our
you can
oldest
pretty
one.
well throw out Adam and Eve.
There's nothing there. It's a void. It's
You
a
can throw
black
out
hole.
Abraham.
This is 1 out of 100 million Googles, whatever. There's
There are
nothing there.
300 prophets buried in Mecca according to their tradition.
And yet that's a blank slate. You
You
couldn't
can
pay.
throw out those 300 prophets.
You couldn't pay me all the gold in Dubai to leave that.
Okay, can you see that's a problem?
It's an enormous problem.
It should be in every map.
It should be on every map.
It should be in Ptolemy's list.
Absolutely.
And it's not there.
It's not there, but this is a void. This is
Do
a
we
black hole.
have that problem?
No.
Is Jerusalem well known?
Well known by everybody.
Is
Look.
Jerusalem on every map?
Yes.
Is it in ancient history?
Absolutely.
Is it referred to in 1400 BC?
Of course. Widely.
So what you're
Widely.
saying is we don't have this problem.
No.
So when the Bible talks about a place, that place is there.
Yes, sir.
When a Bible talks about a place, it's historically validated.
Yes, sir.
It's historically situated.
Absolutely.
So cartographically, you know where Jerusalem is.
I've been reading the Bible for 40 years. I have never found a cartographic question mark or error.
On Jerusalem.
On Jerusalem or
And
any
yet
of
we're
them.
finding problem after problem after problem with Mecca.
This is a ghost town. This is nothing.
When is the first time that Mecca is documented?
I don't know exactly, but I showed you a map that could be the 9th or even 10th century. I'm not certain.
741.
Okay.
741 is the first time it's even named on any document. The Apocalypse of Arabica Continuata is the earliest reference we can find for the city of Mecca.
Right.
That's 741.
And here's...
When did Muhammad die?
You tell me better than
632.
Yes.
So this is 100 years after Muhammad died. We find the first reference to Mecca.
And we find it in terms of 26 or 2,700 years after Abraham. John the Evangelist told me, spoke on Abraham.
Jim, before you get to this, stay with me, all right?
Yes, sir.
So this is 741 versus 632.
Sure.
So if it was 100 years after Muhammad, can you see that's a problem?
It's an enormous problem.
Because he was born there in 570.
Enormous
He died there in 632.
It's a ghost town.
Obviously, there's nothing in the traditions that supports Mecca historically. Okay, now let's go to what you're saying here.
Yeah, I'm saying this is another map. We have several in the theories. The coast of Arabia. This map appears to be actually a little bit later. Maybe it's redacted later, I'm not sure. But this looks the way this configuration of the Persian Gulf. It could be 9th, 10th century, but maybe it's a redacted. I don't know. I'm not sure. So Library of Congress doesn't want to say. I don't want to make any claim I'm not sure of. Never. But I am sure of this. On this coast of Arabia map, they cut it off like it's a black hole, like it's empty, it's desolate. There is nothing there. Where is Mecca?
You mean Mecca is not there?
Yes.
There are other references to other places.
Okay, I'm speaking of Mecca. Sorry.
Okay. You're saying nothing there, but I see lots of stuff there.
Oh, there's lots of map here. It includes mountains. It includes all kinds of things.
All right.
But they cut it off because the south is irrelevant.
Okay, so this is yet another map that shows that Mecca's not there.
Yeah, we've showed so far 7 maps that Mecca's not there,
Okay,
and
good.
I'll give you the question on the one.
Okay, now, are we going to look at any more?
One last.
Okay, let's go to the last one now.
Last map. And this is one I'm sure Jay is very familiar with because it's 7th century. Where is Mecca in the 7th century? And I believe I've seen you present this before. But I'm just a cartographer, geographer.
Actually, I'm gonna say something about this map. This is a modern map redacted back to the 7th century using the Islamic tradition.
Oh, okay.
And interestingly, even there, if you look, Mecca's not on it. So can you see that's a real problem?
Right. Yeah.
Again, in every case, Mecca is missing.
And Mecca's a void. Mecca's a nothing. And if anybody wants to talk geography, cartography, anything to do with geography science, bring it on.
Okay. You want to end up here?
I got a couple more signs I want to say. And we're almost done. Yes, I do want to end it. But let me have this. I want to have these last couple signs. If Mecca is the world's oldest city, or if it's created by Abraham, how come it's not there on any of these maps? How come it's not there on any of these maps? And then I have a final question, but I want to say Jesus Christ deserves all glory. He credit for any wisdom with geography. I'm nobody special, just my major. And everything goes to Jesus Christ. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And this is truth, though. If we hold this up, why won't colleges and universities investigate this major religious claim? This is colleges and universities, my family from Harvard background. Why won't Harvard, why won't some college and university investigate how they can claim that Abraham built Mecca, but all of the ancient maps prove, this is geography, this is science, they prove he didn't, he couldn't, there's no way, there's not one out of a Google chance.
I will tell you why they don't want to do this. Look what happened to Salman Rushdie when he tried to ask a similar question about simply about the Sunni-Shiite divide. Look what happened to him about whether or not we can trust the Meccan surahs, or he talked about the satanic verses, the 12 prostitutes in London who all had the names of the wives of Muhammad.
I apologize, I don't know anything about that, but I do know
Okay, you know what happened to him, though.
Oh, I do know that he was beaten and hurt and almost killed. I do know maps. I know geography. I am certain with all of my heart there's no way this shouldn't be investigated.
Jim, could you show these maps and say what you've just said out there in the street?
I could say it in the street. I could say it in any
No,
university.
you cannot. You can only do it at Speaker's Corner.
Oh, you mean I'd be knifed or beaten?
No, you would probably be taken away by the police.
Oh.
You are not permitted to do that. Am I correct? Here in Britain, you cannot say these things outside of Speaker's Corner.
Okay.
So that's why we're here at Speaker's Corner saying these things. Because of the fact that it is controversial. What you are introducing is controversial.
It may be controversial, but I believe that the church was persecuted, and if anything were to happen, I give all the glory and I trust Jesus.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
No, sir. Let me
Okay.
get down.
God bless you.
Thank
Let's
you.
give him a hand. His first time at Speaker's Corner up on the ladder.